Hey everybody, this is Hunter Bauer, and we welcome you to another episode of the Louisiana Sports Download. Before we get started with our show today, I just want to take a moment and talk a little bit about a recent loss in the sports community, and that was with Miss Carly McCord. She was a well-known sports journalist and digital media reporter who was one of 5 people killed in a plane crash in Lafayette just shortly after Christmas. Carly was a good friend of mine, and we knew each other from our days back in Northwestern State. And then she went on to have a successful career as a sports reporter, not only for entities such as CST, the ESPN Sports Radio Network, but also the New Orleans Saints and the New Orleans Pelican pro teams. It was hard. It was a tough loss. I remember sitting in my office with my wife the moment we found out that Carly had passed, and it was just a unbelievable moment. I had spoken to Carly a couple months ago at a McNeese football game. Asked her how she was doing. She asked me how I was doing. Asked me about my wife. And just shortly before she passed away, she liked a Instagram post that I loaded up of my wife's maternity pictures. Just goes to show you that Carly was first class all the way. She was selfless. She made sure that you were the most important person in the room, and she was just she was a damn good media journalist as well. Just want to send my thoughts and prayers out to her family, her husband Stephen, and both the McCord and Ensminger families. Just want to let y'all know we're praying for y'all during this difficult time, and also just wanted to let people know that they have set up a Carly McCord Memorial Scholarship at Northwestern State. And for those who would like to make a contribution, they can visit northwesternstatealumni.com. And I believe you can go there, and on that site, there should be a tab for her scholarship. Or you can contact Miss Jill Bankston, at Northwestern State. You can call her at 318-357-4241, or you can email her bankstonj@nsula.edu. And I know that this memorial scholarship that Northwestern State has set up will help the next Carly McCord find her passion, learn that passion, and put it to good use, and help change people's lives, just like Carly did. And just wanted to take a moment and remember Carly, and we're going to miss you, Carly.
Welcome to the Louisiana Sports Download, where we bring you exclusive interviews with sports figures from around the Pelican State, as well as in-depth content surrounding current events at the high school, collegiate, and professional levels. Please welcome your host, Hunter Bauer.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Louisiana Sports Download. I'm your host, Hunter Bauer, and today we have a guest that is going to be making history in the next few months, and we're glad to have him on. It's Mr. Seth Johnson from the Louisiana Community Christian Huskies, first-year football team, first JUCO football team in Louisiana, and we're excited to have him on. Coach, how you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Awesome. Well, man, it's an exciting time here in Louisiana. It's always a good time when there's football to be talked about. But, man, just tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got here, and your history with football in Louisiana in general.
My career with football began when I played at Acadiana High School from 2008 to 2012. Wound up winning a state title in 2010. After that, I went and played junior college football. Kind of didn't work out for me, and I decided to pick up a whistle and put up the cleats. When I picked up the whistle, man, it completely changed my life. I've coached at Northland Community Technical College in Minnesota. Had the number 3 defense in the entire MCAC, which is the conference that we were a part of. And then I came back home and coached at Acadiana High for a couple of years. Then I got the opportunity to become a defensive coordinator for a homeschool organization here in Lafayette. Wound up going to Florida and winning a national title with them this past season. About 2 weeks after that season was over with, I got a phone call from Brent Nato, who's our Louisiana athletic director, offering me the head coaching job for this organization and trying to start a legacy and make history in this state with the first junior college program to lay the ground in Louisiana.
Coach, you mentioned that you were a graduate of Acadiana, won a state championship there in football. Talk about how playing there, coaching there, how that prepared you for where you're at right now, because it's a storied program. Lots of historical memories from that school. Speaking of football, but just talk a little bit about how Acadiana High School prepared you for something like this.
So I played under Ted Davison for my 4 years of high school, man. And if anybody knows the legacy and the legendary figure of Ted Davison, they know Ted makes everybody accountable for their position and their jobs and their duties. Playing under him, it just made me more aware of the game around me, made me more aware of what was going on around me, and just the camaraderie and the brotherhood that I gained at Acadiana High, man, that helped me not only transition from when I was playing to when I picked up the whistle, and that's exactly how I coach my players and I run my program. That same avenue, just the same way that Acadiana did it, man, I'm trying to make a legacy.
Yeah, man, it's I enjoy hearing stories about Acadiana and, the success they've had really for a long time. And Ted Davison, he was a key factor in helping that. And, they're still continuing success. So it's always good to hear that they're doing good. So, you said after that you did a little junior college ball, but then you started getting into coaching. You were at a couple of JUCO programs as well. Coach, talk about how is JUCO different than than your typical D1, D2, D3 schools, NCAA schools. Talk about how it's different. What are the rules? Is there a lot of is there any comparison between the two?
Man, when I say JUCO makes you figure out if you want to play football, it defines a football player. JUCO, depending on the level of JUCO, everybody knows there's D3 to D1 level junior colleges. Your high level D1 junior colleges are like East Mississippi Community College, Hutchinson Junior College. Man, I coach at D3 junior colleges. That's basically not the bottom barrel, but the bottom layer. And over there, man, we recruited kids that wanted to play football. We didn't have the scholarships to give to them. It was more of a drive for these kids. And I feel like at that level of junior college, it defines a kid he'll really know in himself if college football is for him, and make him realize that it's going to be a grind no matter what. Whenever you strap it up for a junior college, you have to realize that you don't have everything handed to you basically how they do at D1 schools, where they're giving you free shirts every day, free hoodies, and all kind of stuff that you're getting. So junior college ball really, really, really embodies what football is about, because it's not about the glitz and the glamour. It's about the game. It's more pure at that level to me.
Over the last couple of years, the JUCO programs have been highlighted on shows such as Last Chance U from Netflix and similar shows like that. What drew the attention is, because everybody sees the East Mississippis and the Independences. What would draw an attention like that? Because man, East Mississippi, they were the talk of the town for a while there, and it still are. Just talk about how those programs were able to, I guess, bring the JUCO level to a national attention.
It's by the work ethic, man. I believe everything you get out of what you put into it. All those big time junior colleges. I mean, you look at East Mississippi and Scuba. Scuba is a small town. The biggest thing there is their football stadium.
Right.
They basically, and I have made plenty of trips to Scuba to see the facility and see the college, man. When I was interviewing for different jobs to coach at the junior college level, it's a big thing to put what you can into it and be passionate about it. And that's what those communities, such as the ones around Independence, the one around Hutchinson. I mean, you go to Hutchinson, Kansas, and there's nothing there. It's the college. So it's what you put into it. It's the coach's drive. It's the player. It's more than anything. It's the players and the community that makes it what it is. The players that you bring into the organization are the key factor of what your organization is going to be about and how your organization is going to be run and how it's going to be looked at. East Mississippi and all the big schools, they get a lot of D1 bounce backs that get in trouble. And it's something to see these kids go from being at Clemson or LSU or Bama and go to these junior colleges and really strive at that level and really flip a script and come out of a junior college as a different athlete. And it's basically because of the community that these programs are in.
Yeah, that was, and I guess that's really, one of the highlights of watching that show, and shows similar to that is, these kids were. It was basically it really was a last chance for some of these kids, and most of them, they made the most out of it, and they learned from their mistakes, and they were able to succeed at that level and go on and have great careers. And we'll transition over to talking about the new program here in Louisiana. Talk a little bit about it. How did it come to be? Who was behind the movement? There had been talk for years about why doesn't Louisiana have a JUCO program? Why don't they, why can't we compete with those schools in Texas? Just talk a little bit about maybe the history behind this, who pushed for it and how it came to be.
So our program is basically, we're a satellite campus of Community Christian in California. The president of that college saw a void in the state. He saw a void in a couple states. He's building some in cities that have, in that state, have junior colleges, but nothing close to it, so the kids just have them move. So he saw a void and contacted our AD down here, who he hired to be our athletic director, to start up the program. We feel as with our program, we are basically the last chance for these kids in this state to play in front of their families and enjoy the college atmosphere and everything, instead of going out of state, man. Because we constantly see every day, we see kids signing letters with junior colleges in Minnesota and Colorado and stuff like that, instead of the ones that they want and stay home. So basically, we saw a void and we accepted it, and we've been running with it ever since. It's actually been in the works for almost a year now. We wanted everything to launch at one time. We wanted it to be a big thing whenever we launched it. We wanted to make sure that it was set and it was for sure, and it was everything we will promise these kids when they come play for us. So that's basically how everything is. And with our program, we want to highlight that we are going to be that option for these kids. We're going to be here for the stud athletes and maybe the kids who didn't get a shot at their high schools because they did go to a 5A high school and basically got buried in a depth chart under 6 people on top of their position. We want those kids to come in, play junior college, play meaningful snaps of college football, and in aspirations of getting an associate's degree with us and getting a scholarship to a 4-year university.
That's awesome. What attracted you to the job, Coach? You said it had kind of been in the works for a year. What was it about this opportunity that said, hey, I'm gonna be part of this. I'm gonna be part of history. I'm gonna go in and start the first JUCO football team in the state.
Because whenever I was in high school, man, I wish there was a program like this in the state. I didn't want to leave home. I didn't want to have to go 4 or 5 hours away, whatever. I had offers from schools in Kansas and Colorado and stuff like that. I didn't want to go to those states. I wanted to play in front of my family. And whenever this was approached to me, I wanted to make history. That's basically what I wanted to do. I wanted to make history for this state. I wanted to make history for these kids. And give them that opportunity that I didn't have whenever I was playing. I wanted them to come in, play college football in the state in front of their families, and be able to call themselves junior college athletes in their home state. Be able to call themselves college athletes once and for all in the state of Louisiana. That's the biggest thing we preach to these kids whenever we're recruiting them, to make sure they understand that y'all are making history this first year. Y'all are the ones that are going to lay the foundation for this program.
How's the process been so far? Has it been challenging? Has it been rewarding? I know, following you on Twitter, y'all have been out recruiting heavily. Just talk about the first month of activity and how the process has been so far.
Man, it's been both challenging and rewarding at the same time. I came into this program with dreams and aspirations of making it to what it's going to be in the near future. And just by launching our program, I've been able to talk to some great people, talk to some great former NFL athletes that are thinking about getting behind this program and being a voice for our program, because they didn't have this option whenever they were here. They did go D1, but the kids that they were friends with that didn't go anywhere, they didn't have an option. The challenging part is spreading the word, and that's one big obstacle for any new program or any new business or anything, is making sure that people around the area know. And that's our big goal, is to capitalize on the Acadiana area and capitalize on the kids that are in this area, the parents, the businesses, make sure that they know that we're here and that it's a for sure thing. So that's the more challenging part, man. And the rewarding part is to call these kids and tell them, look, man, you have an option to play at home next year in front of your families and friends. And to hear those voices and those people say, Coach, it's a great opportunity to make history. It's a great opportunity to become a Husky and play for the first 2-year program in the state of Louisiana, and to make history. And that's what really I embody every day whenever I recruit, is to make history for these kids, for the state, and give these kids something that they so rightfully needed for so long.
Yeah, you talk about reaching out to a couple of former NFL athletes. My next question was going to be, what first year JUCO head coach, first JUCO head coach in Louisiana? Who do you reach out to for advice? Who's a mentor? Any coaches involved in that? Who do you go?
Yeah,
who do you go to?
Former coaches, former players that I played with, family, first and foremost. I was at the Acadiana game whenever they played Zachary to go to the state title, and I ran into my former defensive coordinator whenever I was there. And I told him that I had a few options and that this was an option on the table. And he said, take it and run with it. It's going to be something that's going to be great for this area. It's going to be something that's great for the community. My family has been full on force behind this program, doing everything they can. The former players that I've played with that did wind up going to junior colleges out of state and everything are behind this program. It's when I need advice, man. I have a plethora of people that I'm just so blessed to have in front of me to turn to and ask them for guidance in situations that I need.
Yeah, that's that. I was really curious to ask you. You know, who would you reach out to for an opportunity like this, and you know, what could be told. You know, this is how you start the program. This is what you do, and this and that, and that was really interesting to hear about. You know what. So where do you go from here, Coach? What's the, you know, when does the first season start? How does recruiting work on the JUCO level? Talk about your timeline the next few months.
So we're working on our schedule right now. Our season is going to start in late August. Everything with every other program. We will play football come 2020.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah, it's boots on the ground right now. We're playing 2020. The recruiting process, man, is I started a Twitter with 35 followers. I wake up the next morning, I have 600 some followers. It's kids blowing up Twitter and trying to get an offer from this historic program, trying to be able to play for this program. Within the next few months, we're actually running a fundraiser right now for our program, but we're gonna have a showcase combine for all unsigned athletes after National Signing Day, after February 5th, to give them that opportunity to come and earn a spot on our team. And that date has yet to be announced, simply because I'm waiting on the Lafayette Parks and Rec to get back to me about renting a field for that event.
Any college coaches or any college programs, have they reached out to y'all about, you know, just kind of basically, you know, what are y'all doing? How can we help? How can y'all help us? Things like that.
Yeah, I've had a couple. My offensive coordinator, he coached at Arkansas Baptist a couple of years back, and he has a lot of connections. We've had coaches. We have Tyler Junior College, Tyler College, Tyler, Texas. I've had Nichols reach out to me. I've had Southeastern, things like that. Just players that I've played with that played at those institutions have reached out to me, and they've got me in contact with the right people to where these coaches and these universities know about our program. And then when I tell you Twitter is the most powerful thing on this planet right now, we shout out to Edwards on at LSU, Billy Napier at UL. We're trying to do everything possible to get the word out for our program and get these coaches at these higher levels noticing this program to be able to recruit from our program.
That's awesome. So doing a little research, Louisiana Community Christian is going to be a part of the National Independent Athletic Association. And with that, y'all will be competing in the Tri-State Athletic Conference. Talk a little bit about the conference and the National League in general, and, you know, some of the programs that y'all will be competing against each season.
So the conference is made up between a team like us in Texas and a team like us in Alabama, I believe. So we'll play a home and away series with them during the season. So that's 4 games total for the conference title. And then when the playoffs start, we'll be playing teams from that are set up in Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, California, Florida, and I think there's a couple more states that fall into the NIAA division. So, and then our national title is in Atlanta, Georgia. So we'll be having very good competition from these schools.
Can y'all compete against schools such as a Blinn or a Kilgore or East Mississippi? How does that work? Can y'all go outside y'all's league or conference and compete against those schools?
As of right now, we cannot, because we're waiting on our papers to be filed with the NJCAA.
Okay.
As soon as those are filed, we'll be under a probationary period with the NJCAA, and then afterwards we'll be able to schedule games. Well, they actually be scheduled by the NJCAA themselves. But we are able to schedule like D3 junior varsity teams, D3 varsity teams if they so choose to play us. Schools just like us in the NIA, postgraduate academies, things like that. So within the near future, we'll be able to play schools like Glenn and Hutchinson and all that. But until the paperwork is filed and everything, we're kind of in limbo right now.
You know, hearing you talking about that, it really excited me because, you know, like I said earlier, you hear about these teams, these schools on, you know, your Netflixes and things like that. And, you know, how exciting is it going to be down the road being able to possibly bring, you know, teams such as those into Lafayette to play the JUCO games, man. That excites me, just being able to be able to see a competition such as that.
Yeah. And like I said, man, the biggest thing with our programming is for the community. Mm-hmm. We want to make this program huge for the community. We want them to be able to come out and see a Blinn Junior College and a Hutchinson Junior College play against Louisiana's first 2-year institution, to where they are seeing JUCO football in the state of Louisiana. And every day I wake up and I strive for that. I strive to make this program as big as possible. Whenever I wake up. And make sure that we're treating everything with the utmost urgency and everything whenever we do something.
Coach, talk about the student athlete. How does that work compared to a NCAA as far as scholarships go?
It's a simple. Make sure I'm getting this correctly. As in, like grades wise and stuff like that.
Well, I guess just, how many scholarship athletes can you have on the team, walk-ons such as that? How does that differ?
So right now we're basically at the level of a D3 junior college. We don't have athletic scholarships. We have academic scholarships through the home campus in California itself.
Okay.
And that's something that really doesn't hurt us recruiting wise in this state because these kids want to go play junior college.
Right.
A lot of them do, to where they can better their abilities and better their athletics and their grades to where they can get that full ride scholarship to a D1 school. But just at any like in the D1 area and everything, they hold their kids to a 2.5 GPA. Mm-hmm. We hold our kids to that same GPA. All these kids have D1 aspirations, so why not be held at D1 aspirations?
Okay. Yeah, it seems. I always wondered how the JUCO level worked as far as, you know, being able to. Go ahead.
It's basically just like in Division I, Division II, Division III. Well, D1 mid-major and like FCS level, and then when you get into the NAIAs and stuff like that. It's just the amount of scholarships, the amount of money you're given per school for scholarships, and if you're able to offer athletic scholarships at all.
Okay. Talk about your coaching staff. Have you put one together? I noticed on Twitter you had a couple coaches on your staff. Talk a little bit about those.
Okay. So as of right now, I'm the acting head coach, and then I have Corey Payne. Corey is a former coach at Arkansas Baptist. He was their running backs and receivers coach. He helped lead Arkansas Baptist on one of their first winning seasons in a long, long time. He helped that backfield have 3 of the top rushers in the conference, had the number 4 rushing offense in the conference. He really embodies what I like to have when I have coaches on my coaching staff. He's full of energy. He wants the best for the kids. He wants everything to be meaningful for these kids. I have a receivers coach named Anthony Priestley. Anthony played at Lafayette High and then wound up going to Northland Community and Technical College in Minnesota. Played his 2 years there and actually won an MCAC state title with that junior college. Came back home and has since won a semi-pro ring with the Louisiana Bayou Hurricanes, and now has decided to put the whistle on and come coach with me. I've just hired my offensive and defensive line coach. His name's Dwight Lewis. Dwight was a member of the Ove Como High School in Lafayette, Louisiana staff. he expressed aspirations of wanting to be at the college level. So I basically called him, said, man, look, I would love to have you. I play with Dwight. I played semi-pro. I've been around Dwight. He's the real deal when it comes to getting these kids shown in the trenches, because we all know that's where the game really, really comes down to the nitty-gritty, is in the trenches with the big boys. I just hired my running backs coach, Jerome. Jerome played at Northside High School back in the early 2000s and was a graduate of Northside High. Had offers coming out of high school, but had a bad injury his senior year, and that kind of derailed him. But since then, Jerome has won 2 championships with the Louisiana Bayou Hurricanes in their very first year, and then the second year after that. So he's a very big, knowledgeable person when it comes to running back. Can help diagnose a running back's needs and help that running back progress. Like I said, I'm the acting head coach, but I'm also going to be the acting defensive coordinator for right now until I find somebody that fits our staff, because everybody knows that the staff is basically the heart blood of the organization. If the staff doesn't get along and doesn't have the right mindset, then everything else falls apart. So right now, I'm kind of looking for a defense coordinator, but as of right now, the staff is set. But we're looking forward to getting to work, and it doesn't sound like a deep staff. I mean, it's probably the most influential staff and the most gung-ho staff that I've ever been a part of.
That's awesome. What is the what's going to be your what's going to be the philosophy for the team as far as offense, defensive strategy?
Offensively, man, we're running an offense that's spread, no huddle, 5 wide, 4 wide receivers. We're taking our shots. We're going to be strong up front. We're going to be powerful in the run game. We're going to have a strong quarterback. Our defense is going to be quick, fast, and hit hard. That's my philosophy when it comes down to defense. I've been a defensive-minded coach my whole career. And we want to impose our will on our opponents. We want to come into the game not cocky, not over confident, but knowing that the team that we're playing against drew the short straw tonight. We want to come in and we want to get the wins. We want to get our kids better every week. And that's basically my mindset, man. And that's the team's mindset, is to walk into every stadium like it's ours.
Is the mentioning the spread offense, no huddle, is that a common philosophy in JUCO football? Is that something unique that you want to bring? Talk a little bit about that.
So with the spread offense, basically, and it's weird for me. I played in a veer offense in high school, the oldest playbook in the football game. But the spread, basically, man, you can get your athletes and get them the ball in space. Get them to show their abilities, get them to get the stats that they need. And for us at a junior college level, what better offense? What better offense to get you your receivers, get you your running back, get you your offensive line, let them showcase their ability, and let them be a sound factor in the game.
Awesome, man. So I was trying to think. We talked about a little bit about the Netflix show and, the Last Chance U's. And if a Netflix ever came to you and said, hey, coach, we're interested in your program and we'd like to cover you for Last Chance U, what would you say? Would you accept? Is it a distraction? What do you think?
I wouldn't use it as a distraction, because at the end of the day, I would accept that because it'll bring the notoriety and it'll bring the views and it'll bring the people to Lafayette, Louisiana. We have the Cajuns. I'm a proud U.S. student right now. I'm working towards my master's degree, but we need something like this. We need to have this avenue, and we need to have these kids get noticed as much as possible, and this program get noticed as much as possible. So to have a show like Last Chance U come in and offer that, I would jump on it with a heartbeat, because I know the players that we recruit and the staff that I have will be able to minimize the distractions. I mean, there's going to be distractions because there's cameras, there's media, there's everything you could possibly think of with that. But I feel like the staff that I have and the players that we know and the players that we recruit will be able to handle that.
Right. So talk a little bit about what your staff's looking for in a player. What are y'all looking for right now, and how can a potential recruit how can they stand out among the rest right now?
Man, we're looking for kids that are hungry for it. We're looking for kids that they know that this might be their last chance to play football in the state and not have to move. We're looking for kids that can come in, be a big factor for us, and one day get that. And then, like the kids for us, man, the easiest way to get in touch with anybody on the staff is Twitter. We always love to watch film. I'm a big film head. I love watching highlights. I love watching film. I like talking to kids. That's the first thing I bring up. I don't talk about them come and play for me. I don't talk about them. I really don't talk about our program when I first start talking about it. I talk about the kid. I want to get to know the kid. So I talk about their highlights. I talk about their abilities. I talk about their good and their bad. And the kids, they like that. They like a coach to be really influential with them, be real honest with them, and let them know that it's not that we just watch a few clips. We actually watch their film and diagnose their film. We know what to work on with these kids.
Where are y'all going to be playing your games in the fall?
So there's a field called Clark Field in Lafayette, Louisiana, off of Louisiana Avenue. We'll be playing our home games there. It's a full turf field. I think it can fit around a little over 2,000, I believe, comfortably. So it's a beginning spot. The president has made aspirations to us that by year 5, he wants us to have our own stuff, wants us to be able to turn this program into an official. Well, we are official, but have our own field, have our own field house, have our own this, have our own that, not have to rent. You know what I'm saying?
Man, how great is it to have, a president and an athletic director with a vision? Talk a little bit about, you said, 5 years from now, we plan to have our own football stadium, field house. Just, man, it's awesome. It's awesome to hear somebody who wants to see this succeed and wants the program to build. And, man, I just talk a little bit about that.
Man, it's really something, and it's really a blessing to have an athletic director and have a president that nonetheless is all the way in California. Want this program to succeed, want this program to be as big as it is, and giving us the ability to do it. I've told them numerous times, man, I won't accept a salary if I can turn my salary into something to make it better in this program. If I have to work a part-time job while I coach just to pay bills, to make this program bigger than what it needs to be, man.
Right.
Because the sky's the limit with this program. Me, myself, the athletic director, my entire staff, the president in California, we've all talked, and we all had the same goal. And the goal is to make this program as big as possible. Make these people realize that junior college football, it's in the state, it's here to stay. And man, make it the last chance you. Why not us?
Right.
That's what we say every day. Why not us? Why can't we have this? Why can't we have that?
That's awesome, Coach. We, how can, I can't remember if we talked about it, but how can recruits reach out to y'all as far as sending film or just touching base? You said that y'all have a Twitter.
All the staff are on Twitter. Let me get my Twitter handle. I'll put it in the interview for you.
Okay. And while he's looking for it, I actually have the Twitter handle for Louisiana Community. It's at Louisiana COMMU1. That's at Louisiana COMMU1. All right, go ahead, Coach.
And then mine is at Coach Seth Johnson, JOHS1. So at TOHTHSETHJOHNS1. That's
Awesome.
my Twitter handle. Who's interested in the program, feel free to message us. And I will say this to all the student athletes, man. I know recruiting's important and everything, but be patient with us. We will get back to all the people who message us. Like I said, man, I created a Twitter with 50 followers, and the next morning I woke up at 600 and some followers on there, and about 80 messages that I need to get back.
I hear you, man. Hey, it spreads like wildfire, but that's a great thing.
Yeah, it is.
Coach, we truly appreciate you taking the time to come on and talk to us a little bit. We'll throw those Twitter handles in our post when we release the podcast, and that way they'll be able to contact y'all there too. And like I said, we appreciate you coming on. We wish y'all the best of luck, and if there's anything that Louisiana Preps can help with, man, just reach out to us.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate it, and I'm a still son from Coach Huskies.
There you go, Coach. All right, have a good one. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to follow at Louisiana Preps on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe for free to listen every week to the Louisiana Sports Download.